What do you know? Even when I don't read a lot, at least I read. So I guess that's it. Hello, beautiful bookworms! My name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing my July wrap up. Yes, I know. It wasn't an amazing reading month. I had a professional conference that I had to attend to, and most of all, just professional situations that I couldn't get away from pretty much every single day, every week throughout the month. And so reading was complicated. I have also been feeling really, really tired and like I just want to look at the screen of a TV until I disappear in my couch. And so it has been rough to read, but I got some stuff in, thankfully. Some of them I got thanks to being on a plane trip to the actual conference that I went to, and others I got because I had some time here at home. So, without further ado, I'm just going to tell you what I read. So, firstly, and right in the beginning of the month, I read Saga 59, and that is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. And it was an interesting issue of Saga. I am enjoying it so far. I am not feeling as much as I was feeling to the end of the arc that finished before this new one, but I am enjoying it. There are emotional situations already, and so I cannot wait to see where this is gonna go. But yeah, it was an interesting one. That's all that I have to say on the matter. Then, more to the end of the month, I actually read two more comics, one of which was Step by Bloody Step issue 4, and I never remember the authors of this, but the cover will be somewhere here so you can see. And it is finally over. It was a mini series of 4 issues, and I absolutely enjoy it. At the beginning, I wasn't seeing where it was going, but now it kind of seems like a very beautiful portrayal of a realistic way of what it means to live. Um, it's just it's not very hopeful in a way, and it kind of presents you an ending circle of things, but it also at the same time presents to you the fact that your life is like that. You just go, you have a specific purpose, you just do something, and then you die, and then it starts all over again. And it was incredibly interesting. I don't want to talk a lot about it because I will probably spoil it. And there are plot points that are important for you to read if you like to read comic issues. And this one has no dialogue, so it reads pretty fast. So if you want to start reading comics, you can read Step by Bloody Step. It has a beautiful art style and it has a really beautiful story, even though not the most hopeful one in my understanding of life. But yeah, it was very enjoyable. And then fucking finally, I read The Nice House on the Lake, issue 9, and this is by James Tynion IV, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, and Jordi Belair. And first of all, this cover is the stuff of nightmares, and I don't know. I'm loving The Nice House on the Lake. I've heard some people say that they're not enjoying this 3-part arc, like the 7th, 8th, and 9, or 6, 7, 8, and 9. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it. It's just so great. It's just so great. I feel like everything is going to be fucked up really quickly. But if you like horror without gore, but like creepy and like existentialism horror and stuff with actual interesting and thinking main characters, which most of the times is not the point, you will love Nice House on the Lake. I can't tell you this enough. I am hoping that when the series ends, I can do an overview review of the series without spoiling people, which is kind of difficult, but I'm in love with Nice House on the Lake and I really like to read issue 9 finally. Then I have read The Fall of the House of Thomas Weir by Andrew Neil MacLeod, if I'm not mistaken, and I didn't really enjoy this one. It was sort of a Victorian, Sherlockian kind of mystery with a little bit of horror in between, but it was just so not my thing for some reason. The writing style, even though the pace was fast, it just I didn't want to pick up the book, and it was just so, everything that was going to happen I was already expecting, and it wasn't very creative in what was presenting. So I don't know, I really didn't enjoy it, and it was a copy that was provided to me by NetGalley, and I mean, it filled me with nothing. If I hadn't read this, it would be okay, all of the same. So I don't really recommend it, but I mean, if you like Sherlockian vibes and if you like Victorian vibes, with a little bit of horror and a mystery, I guess, and secret societies and everything, I mean, all of the themes look great, but not the way that they're approached. So sorry, but that's how I felt. Then the only physical book that I have read this month was Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This is a Portuguese edition of the book. And if you don't know, I have read Normal People by Sally Rooney, and I've really enjoyed it. And then I watched the TV show, and I really enjoyed it. And so I decided to read more by Sally Rooney. And I do believe this is her first work, and it shows. Normal People was way better than Conversations with Friends. However, I really enjoy the topics tackled in Conversations with Friends. It kind of talks about the search for oneself when you're just in that 20-something age, which I am now at 26, and I'm still searching for myself. I have no idea who I am. I can say that some of these things I will probably not do, but others I cannot state that with as much certainty. And it also talks a lot about sexuality, about developing romantic feelings, and how we feel in the relationships that we create with friends or known people. And it also talks a lot about how you're going to live your life and what you're planning to do, and if you're actually planning to do something in the future, or if you're just lost. It mainly talks about how you're lost at 20-something, how everything looks so big and dramatic, but at the same time, it's hard for you to express how it feels to be living at this age and to be expected to have everything in control, but to not actually have anything in control, and how the relationships with people that we have builds upon us, and how we are going to grow up, and how we change, and how we adapt to stuff. It was interesting. It had some familiar relationships, it had some romantic relationships and friendship relationships. I enjoyed it. Our main character wasn't the best main character, I think, but I could empathize with her at some points. And I really enjoyed pretty much all of the characters and the discussions that we're having. And for someone that does misunderstandings as realistically and as great as Sally Rooney, mind you, I don't really like the miscommunication trope, but in here it is done brilliantly, and in Normal People as well, because it's done in a realistic way that it actually happens in our world, in the real world. It's also one of the books where I've seen characters communicate their feelings as realistically as possible through this miscommunication thing. And I think that's great. I think that we should read more about people that do have difficulties communicating their feelings to one another and what they're living. Oh, sorry. Oh. I'm not bored talking about this. I'm just really tired. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Normal People more, but Conversations with Friends was actually good as well. And now I want to read her next book, which is Beautiful World, Where Are You? Because I'm curious about that one. And then finally, I have read a Hindi horror book, which is Welcome to Smileyland by Spencer Hamilton. If you don't know Spencer Hamilton, is an author in the indie horror, and is now a known author in indie horror. I believe, if I remember his links down below, I will possibly do a review of Welcome to Smileyland. It's actually a novel, so it's not very big. And if you like the amusement park sort of horror theme, it was done brilliantly. I really loved it. I had so much fun reading it. I had so much fun discovering Smileyland and discovering our characters and everything that went on in there. And actually, Welcome to Smileyland does have a non-binary person as a main character, which I loved. The pronouns, I think, were used correctly. I am not sure. I would love to hear a non-voices review of Welcome to Smileyland, but I think it was used correctly. And we had a lot of representation for LGBT QIA plus cast of characters, and I really enjoyed it. I found it amazing, and I think that if you like horror, you should read Welcome to Smileyland with a trigger warning of a lot of gruesome deaths, a lot of gore. So if that's not your thing, don't do it. And if you're by any means scared of amusement parks that have closed down and at night, maybe it's not the best read for you. But if you do like horror, like gory, campy horror, this one's for you. I really enjoyed it. It's a typical slasher, but in an amusement park, and it is just with just so many differences in the cast and in the way that it went. I just adored it. So that's it, guys. That's all I read in July. I know it's not a lot. I'm trying to read a little bit more in August, since I'm going to be doing the Magical Readathon Aurelium Autumn Equinox, and I have to read some books, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to read a lot. And so because of that, this is what is going. I mean, life is more than reading, sadly, so we can't have all of the fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed most of the books that I've read this month, with the exception of The Fall of the House of Thomas Weir, but it also happens to have bad reads once in a while. So that's going to be all for today. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and tell me down below if you've read anything that you didn't particularly like this month, or if you read something that you really enjoyed this month. That's going to be all for today, and happy readings to you all. Bye!